What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade coming to y'all with them playoff predictions. The Celtics versus the New York Knicks. This is a crazy series. A lot of people wanted to see this one because people felt like they got OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges and Towns to have an advantage over the Celtics and try to dethrone them for being the champions this season. And if you're going all in with the Towns trade and trying to get your team to the best that you can build it, this does make sense. And this is going to really show us how good the Knicks really are. Is they really a contender? Is they really great? Can they really win a championship with Jalen Brunson as their best player? Can their duo, Brunson and Towns, dominate or even play at the level that's needed to be able to win a championship? Because if they don't beat Cleveland and Boston, they're not doing anything because their roster is really locked the way that it is, and they don't really have too many ways to get better as of right now and as of our current knowledge. So this series does mean a lot to everything the Knicks have done as an organization to get this point. And obviously, it matters a lot to the fans of Boston because we feel like we still can compete. A lot of people are still picking us to win the championship this year and go back to back. And we feel that we rested guys and we played the games a certain way and threw certain lineups out there for us to be able to be at our best when it matters the most, which is the playoffs. So I think that we have good advantages in this series. I think that we can win this series, and the Knicks fans feel the same way. So we're gonna talk about who's gonna win it and why. So I'm gonna start off with the Celtics just because it makes more sense to do that. Obviously, they won more games. They're the higher seed. They're going to have home court advantage starting off in this series. They have two things that's going to give the Knicks trouble, and that's Derek White and Drew Holiday. Those are two guys that you can put on Jalen Brunson and make it real hard and make it real difficult for him to score one-on-one. And that's what they're there to do. They're there to have length and size and mobility and athleticism to stay in front of guys and make them take shots on the perimeter. And that's what we want them to do. We want them out of the paint. We want them taking threes. We know McHale can come and go 3-point wise. OG Noby can be good or bad. And we know Josh Hart sometimes don't even want to shoot from three, even though they leave him open sometimes. And the fact that we still do have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, and we can play all four of those guys in the same lineup and still have even more spacing because of Al Horford or Kristaps Porzingis. It just shows you how versatile the Celtics have always been since they've been making all these moves to get the roster where it is now. And I do think Jaylen Brown and Tatum have shown, especially in the regular season, that they don't have no trouble with Mikal or OG Anunoby defending them or making things tough for them. They know how to score. They know what to do against them. They know how to even get them in foul trouble, and they know how to come at them. And that's what's going to matter. You know, can your stars play like stars when they matter, and can your others step up when it matters the most also? But you look at guys like Sam Hauser, you look at guys like Peyton Pritchard, all you asking them to do is come in and defend a little bit and make some good plays on the offensive end. And they showed that they can do that the last couple years. So I don't really think that that's going to be a problem. Plus, you know, if Cam Payne can come in and get double figures, we don't fear that because we have bench players that can come in and do the same. And we have size. We can throw Luke Cornett out there off the bench too. We can throw Kata out there if we really wanted to, or somebody gets in foul trouble. And then we got Porzingis. He's been healthy, you know, for months, and we've been saving him for the playoffs because he's our secret weapon. We knew that if he's making shots from the perimeter, he's rebounding the ball and protecting the paint, we're going to be one of the hardest teams to eliminate. And I think that if his 3-point shot just continues to fall and his mid range is going on those mismatches, then he's going to be getting people in foul trouble, or he's going to be scoring 20 points or close to it. If he does that, this series could be over faster than a lot of people think. Another thing is who's really going to play off the bench besides Cornette and Al Horford and obviously Peyton Pritchard and Sam Hauser. I mean, like I said, is Baylor going to play? Tillman going to play? Wash going to play? I only see some of those guys playing if it's a blowout, which could happen because we know the Celtics can get hot from three, or they can make a run and still defend at a high level. And if they do that, they can put the Knicks away early because the Knicks shown even against the Pistons in the regular season that they can be a little stagnated. Like if Jalen Brunson can't score, they can just throw the ball to somebody else and see if they can make a play. They can't really create that well, especially against a team like the Celtics. And things can get bogged down and things can get a little messy. Things can get a little sloppy and opportunities opened up for transition and opportunities opened up for us to put more points on the board to blow them out faster. So I think that that's going to be something to watch is what the Knicks are going to try to do offensively and if it's going to work enough to where they can hang with the Celtics to put them in a situation to where they can beat them. And if they can't, then we can always say it's a 7 game series. Can they beat us 4 times? We know that we're not going to play perfect. We know that things are going to happen. We know that they're going to come out and try to show that they can hang with us, but we still got to handle our business. But like I said, the biggest thing is we know that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are 2 guys that they can't stop. Nobody has an answer for them yet. And that's the beautiful thing about being a Celtics fan, which I am, is that we know that Brown wants to go for 30, he can go for 30. We know that Tatum going to try to go for 30 basically every game. And they don't really have nobody that can slow them down or make things too difficult because they already proved that in the regular season against the Knicks. So it can get ugly and it can be very fun at the same time because the first games are going to be at home and they're going to be rooting for this team. But it can just be that simple. This team can switch. They can make things difficult with the passes. They can make things difficult with the dribble penetration, and they can make things difficult by having somebody in the paint ready to wall it off and force them to go back to trying to shoot a 3 or a mid-range, which they don't have enough guys that can make those shots consistently. But that's the way to look at it if you're a Celtics fan, and most people are. I ain't gonna lie about that, but it's a lot of people that are Knicks fans. That's one of the other biggest markets and one of the other biggest cities in the world. And we can say that we know that OG Anunoby is going to shoot a lot of threes. We know that Mikal Bridges is going to try to hit some mid ranges and some threes too. He's going to keep trying to find a way. If he can't get all the way to the basket, he's going to do that stop and pop, pull up Mikal, for example. And if he does get to the basket, he might dunk it every once in a while, or get out in transition because he get a steal or somebody got a little sloppy. The Celtics can get in their own head sometimes, and it can create opportunity for the opponents. And OG Anunoby is a guy we know sometimes he can get a little happy with his shot selection, but we'll live with that. You got to pick your poison in this game, especially when you go against the better teams, and you just have to live with the results. But Jalen Brunson is going to be tough. We know he's going to come at us over and over again, even if you play good defense on him. That's his mentality. If I miss one, I'm going to try to make the next. And that's what make him great. That's what make him one of the best. And that's why we got to play him very hard and make sure we communicating on him, because he's going to have the ability to make them believe that they can win. And that's what your leader is supposed to do. But I just feel like he's just a little too small. He's just a little bit too slow. And I do think the Celtics have the right matchup of guys that they can throw at him and still be able to score on the other end. And that's why I think it can get a little ugly. Josh Hart, we know he's going to make the effort plays, the rebounds, driving to the rim in transition, kicking the ball out, keeping the ball moving, diving on the floor, just showing up at the right time for offensive rebounds. If we can pay attention to him and communicate where he's at or what he's trying to do, then we can neutralize him a little bit, but he's still going to have some type of impact on the game because he's a really good player that understands how to play it. Miles McBride, we know he's a sharpshooter. He's going to try to get to the basket every once in a while, but other than that, he's going to try to knock down threes. And same with Campaign. If he's not trying to knock down that floater or a layup, he's trying to shoot a three. But I don't think he's going to play a crazy ton of minutes because we know how Tom Thibodeau is. I'm going to go with the guys that got me here. I'm going to go with the guys I trust the most. I'm going to go with the guys that give me the best chance of winning as a coach. And that's what we paying these guys for anyway, to put us in a situation where we can win a championship. And my job is to guide them along the way. And I think Mitchell Robinson can be good. He's going to be a problem because he is a bruiser. He's going to bump you. He's going to knock you. He's going to go hard to the rim. He's going to try to score as soon as he gets the rebound. We know he's going to set screens and try to dive or trying to find a way to box you out early so that way you can get the offensive board. He's going to be trouble, but we understand that coming in the game, like everybody knows. But, he's going to be great in his own regard. And then Towns. What is Karl-Anthony Towns really going to do? He was a little bit of a disappointment in Detroit sometimes. He only had 10-point games and games like that. He's going to need to go for 25 to 30 to beat the Celtics. You know what I mean? Because we have guys that can make it good defensively to slow him down in the post. We have guys that can bump with him and have strength on him. So he's not going to just be able to drive on us. He's not going to be able to just post us up. He is going to have to be able to knock down perimeter shots, which we know he can do, but he's going to have to do it efficiently. And he's going to have to take a lot of shots, because if we slow down Brunson, they're going to be throwing the ball to Towns. And can Towns take over the game? Can he make the shots that's needed? And they're paying him so much money because they thought he can be a great number two, even in the pick and roll and just individually. And we're going to see how great Towns can be when it matters the most. He's coming off a Western Conference Finals last year. We'll see if he's going to bring that mentality to the East and try to dominate when it matters most, which is the playoffs. Other guys that could matter, Precious Achiuwa probably can give you 5 to 6 to 10 points, depending on how many minutes he play. Landry Shamet may make some shots every blue moon when he gets on the court if it happens. And DeLon Wright can give you a couple points too if they need that, because the Celtics going to play a lot of guards. So some guys might give Jalen Brunson a break and they might come in just to make some shots or just to play a little bit of defense. Those guys are the ones that I can see can do the most. But other than that, I don't see some of the younger players getting that much time because obviously they're trying to put the best lineups they can out there to win. And that's how it should be, and that's how it normally goes. But other than that, if I had to be honest, I got Celtics in 5. I don't really see the Knicks being a crazy team or a tough team to beat. They proved that in Detroit that they might win 3-3 if they call the foul on Tim Hardaway Jr., but it didn't happen. So that could have been a 7-game series against a number 6 seed. We're the real deal. We have guys that are superstars. We got guys that can make tough shots. We got guys that can make it easier for you. And we got guys that can just outcompete and make it tough for the Knicks to score consistently, which gives us even more opportunities to blow them out because of transition and other opportunities too, because that's another possession that they didn't score on, allowing us to do that. So I'm going to say this is an easy one for the Celtics just based off matchup, just based off personnel, and just based off the fact that we can score a whole lot easier than what the Knicks can do. I wouldn't be surprised if they get a game, because Towns can get hot. We know Brunson, what he can do. He can close games. He can seal games. And they can compete defensively sometimes and create opportunities for them to hang in games and possibly steal one. So I give them respect and say they won't get swept. But other than that, I got the Celtics winning this series easily. And other than that, comment, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell for more analysis. And if you're new to the channel, I do conversation videos just like this about NBA-only topics. Also do mock drafts and also draft coverage. I also do NBA breakdowns of legends, current legends, rookies, those are future stars. And also will say, I got over 3,000 plus videos on my channel already that you can watch and enjoy. Plus, I make videos each and every day too. So if you love that type of stuff, this is the channel for you. I promise you, especially if you're an NBA fan, and most people are. So this is the channel for you, whether you're a casual or hardcore basketball person. Other than that, hope you guys had a blessed day. The weekend is here when this video is coming out. So hopefully you guys are blessed and ready to get some rest and continue to hit them goals and reach new ones and focus on other ones. And also do the best you can to live as positive as you can and keep the drama and the chaos and all the other things that can happen, at the door. So you don't open it up if you see it coming. Other than that, my social media is on my channel, so check those out. You want to see some other things I like to do besides NBA only content on this channel. Check out my email if you want to message me for whatever the reason is. And also, thank y'all for the support from day one, still to this day. Thank y'all for checking out the content. We're doing real good the first 4 months. We're doing good so far this 5th month. So let's try to do this for the rest of the year. Hopefully we can. That's the goal. Let's see if we can do it. And let's make 2025 a better year than 2015. That's a hard goal to do because that year was so big for me, but we feel like we can do it. We off to a great start to catch it. And I think that we can do it. As tough as I can be on myself, I know for sure we can do it based off how we going right now. So let's continue to do that. And I need you guys to do your part. I want to continue to do my part. That's a 50-50 reason why this channel is still around to this day and is going hard. Other than that, y'all stay blessed. I will be back later today with that Golden State Warriors Houston analysis and possibly even the playoff prediction. So stay subscribed if you haven't, and also hit that notification bell too, so that way you can stay in the loop for the analysis that you might be missing out or you might want to see. And that's all I can ask you guys to do anyway. And I can't force you to do anything y'all want to do. but I know y'all love it anyway. If I get a chance to, peace, and see you guys later. Hopefully tomorrow or today, later today, I should say too.